Okay, so I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel for forever. I've been watching beauty YouTube for like 12 years. I'm a professional makeup artist. I'm now based in South Georgia. I just moved from Tucson, Arizona, but I do bridal and special event makeup and hair. And I have been obsessed with beauty and makeup my entire life. And I'm just sick of watching YouTube and not contributing. I don't know. I just feel like I have obviously experience in like in-person freelancing makeup, but also I love trying products, and I think I have a very unique set of issues with my face. Not to be like complaining about my features, but I have very dark circles and very hooded eyelids. So I hope my videos can help anyone else who has those same issues, either find products that work for them or techniques that work for them. But I don't really know what I want my channel to be. I think it's just gonna be a very casual space for me to connect with you guys and talk about makeup and have a good time together, because I could literally talk about makeup all day. That's how much I love it. And I'm realizing more as I do virtual makeup lessons and like in-person makeup lessons, and when I talk with brides that hire me for their wedding day, which is crazy that anyone does that at all. But makeup is just not, like, it's such a big part of my life, and it's really not a big deal for a lot of other people, and so they don't know a lot about it, which makes sense. So I want to be able to offer help to like the everyday girl, because I love natural makeup. I don't like makeup that you can like see on the skin. Like, I want it to look natural and have God-given features enhanced on people. So that's my whole thing. That's like my whole brand, enhanced natural beauty. And that's the kind of makeup I like. And if you think you'd be interested in that, stick around. I am gonna post some other videos. Don't know what they're gonna be, but I hope you enjoyed this. Get ready with me. All right, so first up, I'm going to use, okay, so I love the e.l.f. Hydro Grip Primer. That's what's in my makeup kit, and that's what I buy regularly for my makeup kit. But I remember when I was probably high school, maybe middle school, I bought this off e.l.f.'s website when they were so cheap and affordable and weren't in Target and stuff like that. Let me know if you guys remember that. But I remember buying this and I loved it. I didn't really believe in primers before that, but I used this whole thing up, and yeah, I think it was the only primer I owned at the time. Now I own a couple more, but this stuff is really good. And honestly, I like it. I remember liking it so much because of the smell, the like Jolly Rancher smell. But these days I don't really like that much fragrance on anything really, especially that goes on my face. But yeah, so this is still great, but I think I prefer the e.l.f. or the Hydro Grip, because, wait, is that the Milk name? What is that called? It's the Milk Hydro Grip and the e.l.f. Gripping Primer? I think I have those mixed up, but whatever. But the smell this time around isn't as like pleasing to me as I once thought it was. So I prefer the like green one that e.l.f. has now, or the one with niacinamide. But I think you get a better value with this one. I'd have to look. And it could just be the way the bottles are shaped. This one's like tall and skinnier, and the other one's a little bit fatter. So yes, that's what I started out with. Then I recently have been using brushes only for my like complexion products, but I pulled out a sponge. My dogs are deciding to play right now, and I just took them on a walk. They had their breakfast, they're fed. They should be like passed out right now, but instead they're gonna ruin this like big moment for me. So if you hear that, that's what's happening. I can show them to you later. If you want to see them, you guys can come back for another video. But yeah, like I said, I've been using brushes a lot, but now I've switched. Today I should try a sponge again, because I know it gives a more like natural, not as like heavy coverage. And I recently moved from Arizona to Georgia recently. So Arizona's obviously like the desert and dry heat. So today I've decided to switch to a sponge so that the makeup I put on is more sheer, you know, because when there's lots of makeup on my skin now, like in the humidity here in Georgia, it seems to just slide off. So I'm trying to sheer it out a bit. So I always pump foundation. Oh, I guess I should tell you what I'm using. But I'm using this. This is one of my faves. I haven't tried the Maybelline Superstay Skin Tint, which is, I've heard, is very similar to this. I think there's great staying power with this one, but I've heard that maybe the Maybelline has even more staying power. But I'm trying to use this up before I go out and buy that one, but I'm gonna try that one next for sure. I always pump on my hand and then take onto the tool I'm using to put on my face, pick some up, and I'll just go from there. This is also like a summer shade for me, so I'm trying to get a lot of use out of it while I still have some tan, you know? I get very pale in the winter. So I did my foundation, I used that skin tint. Next, I'm gonna do concealer. So my favorite concealer of all time for my under eyes, and that's a very big saying because I've tried a lot of concealers. I have very dark circles. This is my favorite. I've tried a lot of drugstore, but I've tried a lot of like high-end too, thinking that paying extra would make a difference. But honestly, this e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer is amazing. It's incredible. And it's like what, $6, $8? So I have mine in the shade Light Peach. And the way I apply this, I have a reel on this on my Instagram and my TikTok, but I put it on the back of my hand, like my hand is a palette, and I take like a good chunk on the back of my hand. I also put some under my eyes, so I wiped off the product, but I put some right here where like that darkness is, and then right here. And I know this stuff is like pretty pigmented, so you may be thinking I'm using a lot, but you'll see. I use a sponge to blend it out, and then it's like magic, and it's like butter. But I'm gonna let that sit for like 30 seconds to a minute because it helps the coverage. Okay, wow. So it stopped again, and I'm going crazy. I actually hate when technology specifically stops working. It is like the thing that makes me the most angry. So I'm just gonna take a deep breath. Everything is fine. I don't want this video to be perfect. This is obviously my first time doing this, so it's not gonna be perfect. But I did tell you about my favorite concealer and how I apply it. But it didn't record, so, and I'm not gonna redo it. But yeah, I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. I have an Instagram reel on how I apply it the way I just did. You can look there, or I will explain it in another video. Okay, so next I'm gonna do eyeshadow, which for me has been very simple lately, just for the sake of time and the fact that my hooded eyelids, everything creases basically with them. The one thing I found that doesn't crease is the Ulta Beauty Matte Cream Eyeshadow. Mine looks disgusting, wow. But this stuff is such a crazy good formula for the price. They repackaged. I don't know if they reformulated, I hope not, but it's in different packaging now. It's like skinny. But this is one of my favorite shades in Bubblegum because this like rosy tone really brings out my blue eyes. So I just go directly on my eyelids. It's like a mousse texture. It's really good. And it has like a built-in primer, so it doesn't crease. I don't have to use a primer under it, which is not true for most everything else because my eyes are so hooded. I got a bit too much, so I like put it around my eyelid, and while I'm blending the crease, I can tell that there's a bit too much on my brush, so I just take a cloth and wipe it off to control how much is on there. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been doing for eyeshadow. I love cream eyeshadows. They're not created equal though, that's for sure. But this one's great. I need to buy more of their colors. I had like 3 and I decluttered 2 of them because cool tones don't look very good on me. I'm much more suited for warm tones. So I had like more of a gray purpley color, but it just didn't do anything for me, so I got rid of it. And then what other color did I have? I actually might still have the other color now that I think of it, but this is the one I have in my basket right now. I think the other one I have is more of just like a brown, but this one's more rosy. But look how pretty that is. Doesn't it make blue eyes pop? This is a new product I got from YesStyle as well. Gel liner from, I think, Tony Moly? No, McQueen, New York. McQueen, New York. A waterproof gel liner in the shade Romantic Heroine. And it's just a really fun, like rosy, warm color that really complements my eyes. I like to play with colors and stuff like on my lower lashes more so than my lid or my upper liner area, because you can't see it when I look straight ahead and I'm just naturally like I'm like relaxed, you know, my face isn't flexed in any way. So yeah, I'm gonna take this color under my lashes here. If your liner isn't quite transferring to your eyelids the way it is like in the pen form or in the pencil form, I always rub it on the back of my hand. The warmth of your hand really helps melt, and then it's like more glidey when you put it on your eye. It is kind of stiff, but I think that's a good thing because it'll be more waterproof. And I just realized I'm going to a workout class this afternoon with one of my friends, and this might be a lot for a workout class, but I don't care. I gotta live my life. Okay, so this is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpture Palette from probably 2020 or 2021. I got this sucker for like 40 bucks, and it's like $80 originally. 70 maybe. It was, I think it was right after the holidays, and there was like a clearance on it, and I bought it. And I love it. So, I'm gonna be using the bronzer. I'm gonna use this bronzer. And then I'm gonna skip highlight because it's so darn humid here, and I think I'm gonna use, I'm gonna mix these two. That's the closest to my eyes color, I think. So, just gonna go in with the bronzer. That primer we used, the e.l.f. Jelly Pop, will really help with longevity too for that workout class. Maybe I should do a wear test. Ooh, that could be fun. You guys could see how it wore after I get all sweaty. I go to Orange Theory. It's only my 2nd week, but I'm very much liking it. Within the past like couple, 2-3 years, I started getting into weightlifting. Pretty much only dumbbells though, just like at the gym, and didn't really do much cardio. I mean, the intervals that I did are cardio based, where like I didn't get much of a break between lifting sets. But Orange Theory is more running, so I'm interested to see how that helps with my like physique and my fitness goals, which would be cool. I did track and field in high school. I was a, what was it? It was a 100, 200 sprinter, and then I did long jump. But I don't necessarily think I love running. Sprinting is different because it's just like quick and it's over with, but distance running is tougher for me, and that's what they do. Not distance running, but they do more like interval. They do more interval training with time, like longer distances, and then you get like a break for 30 seconds, and then you run for a minute. And anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm talking about that. Okay, next I'm going to use these fun 2 shades, which mixed together are gonna be perfect. This one's really pigmented, so I'm gonna like mostly go in this one. I don't know if you can see that, I hope so. And then just do a little dollop of that one. And so you can see in the brush it's kind of weird and like not evenly coated on the hairs because we mixed 2 colors as well. So I'm just gonna prime the brush again on the back of my hand, make sure nothing crazy happens on my cheek. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. I need more color. I'm a blushy gal. Love blush. Also, people don't talk about this a lot, but like my pimples turn like purpley reddy. So if I have any around my cheek area, when I put blush on, it's like the same color, so you really can't see them. I mean, you can see these, but I'm just saying it's helpful, like more so than here, you know? It's helpful in covering up some blemishes. Doing the same thing on the other side. I was sick like a couple weeks ago, and I woke up this morning feeling stuffy again, which is weird. Maybe it's just allergies, but ooh, that's so pretty. This formula is pretty darn good. I love like drugstore budget beauty, but this hourglass formula is very nice, and every time I use it I'm reminded of that. And it's like, it really is kind of like ethereal and airbrushed. And the powder formulas just in general last better, but these really have good longevity too. You know what's very similar though is the Essence, the new Essence Baked blushes. Those are pretty close to Hourglass formula. My brows are tricky. I dye them because they get pretty light and you can't see them. And a lot of blonde hair brow products make my eyebrows look dirty. So this is what I've been liking recently, that this would just be like my quick everyday brow. The NYX Brow Glue in Taupe. This doesn't really hold my brows at all, but it's got like the pigment in it, and so I just like literally scrape it so it gets to my skin and then like helps my brows look filled in, but the hairs themselves aren't really like tamed. It doesn't really have a hold. That's my everyday kind of brow, but today let's do something a bit more because it's a special day. So I love this brow gel, the Almay Brow Styler. It's in clear and it holds my brows like no other. I have really fine hair though, so take that with a grain of salt. I recommended this to one of my friends and it didn't hold for her brow hairs, and I think she has thicker hair. So yeah, but I love the spoolie on this, and this is just a clear one. This is the way I think my brows look the most like natural. Like this is how when I do my fluffy brow tutorial. I also have a reel on that on my Instagram. But because this is clear, it doesn't make my brows look dirty at all. Like I said, I tint them, so it helps that I tint them, but then I do go in with something afterward to fill in as well. But I just kind of press these down to the skin and up. Flatten them the way I want them. And I go down first to coat all of the hairs. Like every side of the hair. Like when you put hair product in your head of hair, you know, you brush it out so it's like evenly distributed and coated. Same thing, kind of press. Oh, you wouldn't know this about me, but I am blind. I mean, not actually. I have just really poor eyesight. And I don't have my contacts in right now, so I can see this mirror, but I can't really, like, you're kind of blurry. So I hope I'm not squinting. I don't think I am. But at the end, I'll put my glasses on. You can see who I truly am. What I look like every day. I recently got daily contacts, and the optometrist said that they would help with like the dryness I struggle with, but it really didn't, and they're so expensive. And I only wear them when I work out, so like I only really need them for like an hour and a half, 2 hours max. I'm gonna let that dry. So let's like step away for a second, and I'm gonna move on to my mascara. This is a new mascara that I've been loving. It's Buble and Rudy Berry. I don't know if you guys watch Rudy Berry, but she's awesome. I like her a lot. She came out with this like so stunning true brown tubing mascara. And going back to hooded eyelids, every single mascara I try smudges up here because my lashes touch my brow bone area because there's no space there. It's not because my lashes are so long, it's because there's no space there. And because of that, every single mascara I try smudges, like literally all of them except tubing mascaras. And if you think of it, even waterproof mascaras, like I know waterproof mascaras are really good for holding curl, but you remove a waterproof mascara with oil, right? And if I have a waterproof mascara on, it touches my brow bone, it's touching the oil of my skin, so it's like disintegrating. Like that's how you would remove waterproof mascara. So of course all waterproof mascaras smudge on me, almost even more than non-waterproof and just like normal mascaras, but tubing is where it's at. So I only buy tubing mascaras now. I don't try anything else because they just don't work for me. So this one has been really nice. I really like it. For a tubing mascara, it's like quite wet texture, which is good. And I think she created, I know she really likes like fluttery lashes. So I think she created this to be more of like a one coat. I mean, you can't really do more than one coat with a tubing mascara, but she created it to be more natural. But because it's so wet, I feel like I have the ability to kind of build it up too. Like I said, I don't do more than one coat because then it would defeat the purpose of the tubes and just flake everywhere probably. But because it's wet, I have some time to build it up before it dries, which I appreciate. And also, everything I put on my lower lashes smudges too, but I can put this on there and it doesn't smudge. I don't really like the way I look with mascara on my lower lash line, but yeah. Tubing mascara is the bee's knees. I love it. This one's probably my current favorite. I also, before this I used the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water tubing mascara, and that one's really good too. I got the mini size and I'm still not even through it all the way, but I had the black color and I wanted like a fun rich brown. Wow, I'm talking too much. I got a thing in my throat. I tried the Tower 28 one. I have it right here. When I got this, it was like in a free sample kit thing, or like one of those Sephora favorite things. And it came really dried out. So I don't know if it's just old, and I don't know if that's how the formula actually is, but it flakes a bit on me because it's so dry. I'm gonna let these flakes on my eyelid here dry before I flake them away. That's what I do on clients too, and it's the best way to get rid of it. You wouldn't even know it's there. Especially with tubing mascara, because I use tubing mascara in my kit because it's the best. Now that brow gel is dried, my favorite brow pen is the NYX Lift and Snatch. I use the shade Blonde. I tried taupe first, but taupe is too dark, and blonde is actually a really good color. It's not too warm like most blonde colors are, and most blonde shades kind of pull like, I guess this kind of pulls green too, but not in a weird way. Like it's not an unnatural looking blonde, which a lot of blonde shades are that way. This is like the 5th, 6th one of this I bought. I just bought one on Ulta, 2 on Ulta because they had basically I got 2 of them for half off the original price. So those are in my little backup section because this is so freaking good. Specifically, I like their shade range in the NYX way better because Milani doesn't have like a lighter blonde color. And there's other brands also that make this, and I can't think of them right now, but I think this one's just superior. So if you look at my brows straight on, you can see that they're pretty full in the inner part, but I need some help in the outer corner here. So I always start on the tail or the brow of my, or the arch of my brow, actually is what I mean. I don't really need help here, and I think a lot of people start filling in, especially people with blonde hair. They start filling in their brows like right here because that's where they want the most color, right? But for a brow to look the most natural, it should be darker and shaded here and then lighter here, and that creates like dimension and 3D dimension, right, of like the two different tones and colors. If your brow is all one color, like that's fine, but it's not going to look as natural. And if your brow is darker on the inner corner, it's going to make your eyes look very closed in and just like funky. So I see a lot of people, and in like makeup tutorials I do or makeup lessons I do, everyone instinctually starts here because that's where you want the most help, right, usually. But even if you need, like, if you don't really need that much help on the tail, start there, because wherever you first lay something that has fresh product in it, that's where the most pigment is going to go, whether it's a pen, whether it's a brush, whether it's your finger. Like, obviously that's where the most pigment is going to start. So yeah, I start there. And brow pens are kind of tricky to get the hang of, but look at that. You're kidding me, right? And then I always use my finger to make it look a bit more natural. But they literally look like hairs. It's so good. I always get to the end of this pen, in this shade specifically, and it starts to pull more orange and not look as hair-like. Like it gets kind of, it runs out of pigment, right? So it gets more sloppy than these like precise hairs. And every time it does that, I'm like, do I actually even like this thing? And then I realize how long it has been since I've like replaced it. So this is a fresh one, and it's just so freaking good. It's just unreal, you guys. And then I always underline like that. It's so simple. Right. Oh, it's so good. And then I always like make sure I get stuff in the hair, in the actual brush hair, to get the most color payoff. So good, it's so good. I also store this upside down in my little brush thing here. Otherwise it takes a lot of time for the pigment to get to the brush hairs, of which I don't always have a lot in the morning. Of time, that is, so. Yes. Underline. I don't really need help in the brow section here, like in the individual hairs, but I do like to underline for a bit more structure. It's just the best. So that takes a bit more time than just using the NYX brow glue. Now I'm gonna take the same brush I used for that cream eyeshadow, which is a Real Techniques domed shadow brush. Real Techniques brushes are great. They do get the weird, they kind of turn gross on the plastic part here. You know what my actual favorite brushes are? The Moda Pro brushes. They come in so many fun. This is all Moda. And so like the tie-dye ones come in a separate set. These are like a fun like jelly pop set. But these brushes are so good. I think in Europe it's called Royal and Langnickel. And then here in the States you can find them at Walmart, and they're just called Moda Pro brushes. They're so good. This one's a Moda brush too. They're so soft. So I lean more toward those now than I do Real Technique brushes because of this situation. I take that same brush and I just smudge until the mascara is gone. And this doesn't always take it away, so then if I need to, I grab the spoolie, which can be a bit more harsh and like painful, so I don't love the way this feels, obviously. So I try and use the brush first, but specifically to get to the lashes there. Okay, so unfortunately I did not record the part where I was doing my lips for this. I don't know how that happened. I went to get a piece of gum because I had so much of a tickle in my throat, and when I came back, I guess I didn't hit record. But like I said, this video is not going to be perfect. So yeah, I ended up using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner and lipstick. And this is the only outro I recorded, but thanks for watching. Bye!